You may now begin your presentation.
Passion is the fire deep down that gives us drive. Drive to compete, to succeed as individuals, to progress as a society. Passion has been at the forefront of change and innovation throughout the history of the world. Those who learn to harness it equip themselves with the tools necessary to change this world for the better. Passion sparks action.
And now it's time for the United States to take action. The financial crisis is tearing at the edges of our country. Foreclosures threaten thousands of families every day. Unemployment is on the rise and the world is waiting to see our action, to see America lead.
Failure is not an option. Our country has faced adversity before and we're still standing. The passion of our country has bolstered us in the past and will continue to see us through the worst of calamities. This is our moment. This is our time to overcome this crisis and emerge more creative, more competitive, more tempered than ever before.
SIFE has given students throughout the world the motivation to harness their passion, to empower local and global communities through the elements of free enterprise.
As the La Sierra University SIFE team, we believe we can and must focus that passion, that drive every student feels, and turn it into a life-changing force. It's time to not only want change, but to pursue it, and take the steps necessary to bring our dreams to life. Change can happen, and we're proud to be here in the birthplace of our nation to show you how we brought change to Thailand, Africa, the United States, and around the world.
Our SIFE team is not afraid of the financial collapse. Where the world sees a crisis, we see opportunity. History is full of examples where a crisis situation has bred creative, entrepreneurial solutions. Well, for the work, our team's most successful legacy project was born from such a crisis.
Riverside County is the third fastest growing county in the nation. 12% of this population lives below the poverty line. Only 1 of 5 children is served by the licensed child care industry, and thousands more are still on waiting lists.
Well, for the work, a 15-week program was created 10 years ago when a partnership was formed between our SIFE team and BAB member Don Betro, president of Family Service Association of Riverside. It was Betro's leadership that brought together the desperately needed social outcome with SIFE's business paradigm to create the truly entrepreneurial model that this project has become.
Family Services teaches the first 9 weeks of the program and covers the basics of running a child care facility. Our SIFE team teaches the last 6 weeks on running a home-based business, providing the women with their own 52-page curriculum that integrates market economics, success skills, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy.
Taught in both English and Spanish, our classes include taxes and accounting, marketing, and writing a business plan. Pre and post tests show a 334% increase in understanding. We have taught 3 of these 15-week modules in Riverside County, impacting a total of 69 people. And our 4th module is scheduled to begin next week.
Funded by a competitive grant from California First 5, this project not only teaches participants how to run a home-based child care facility, but it helps them improve essential skills such as writing, communication, child development, and self-esteem.
Over the past 10 years, more than 850 low-income women have completed the course, and 35% have gone on to become entrepreneurs, obtaining a license and opening their businesses, earning an average of $3,500 a month.
In just a decade, this project has served more than 1,000 children and contributed more than $16 million to the local economy. These women have gone from having only baking soda in their fridge to being able to feed not only their children, but others as well. We have taken women who were caught in a cycle of dependency and given them the seeds to cultivate better tomorrows today.
But this project goes beyond financial stability. It helps participants gain something money can't buy: self-worth. This project has impacted my life in a special way. My mother's story mirrors the life stories of our graduates. Porfiria is a woman who came to the United States in search of a better life. She ended up a single mother of 4, working 16-hour days to survive and make ends meet. Tired of living paycheck to paycheck, Porfiria heard about our program and how it could turn a 34-year-old single mother into an entrepreneur with the potential to earn over $3,500 a month. Surprisingly, rather than being excited about her new potential income, with tears in her eyes, she said, "I am deeply honored that someone believes that I can do something in life. Someone believes I am worth teaching." Porfiria's words do not fall on deaf ears. The La Sierra SIFE team strives to empower women and looks forward to another 10 years of change.
Passion goes beyond words in a script. Passion is something so powerful, so moving that those who possess it cannot help but push the world toward the potential they seek. Our team does not believe empowerment is bound by geographical borders. This past summer, 4 other students and I, along with a faculty fellow and BAB member, spent an entire week in Chiang Mai, Thailand, empowering the lives of 29 eager entrepreneurs.
The villagers from surrounding hillsides gathered in a one-room cement hall, ready to learn. As we taught them business success skills such as basic accounting, marketing, business ethics, and how to write a business plan, we realized they're basing their futures from our course. It was amazing to have the opportunity to go beyond charity and provide them the tools needed to plant brighter futures by making informed business decisions today.
The administrators were so impressed with our program, they opened 11 classrooms in a local school. In the high school, we taught 219 students success skills such as teamwork, dress for success, and interviewing, as well as financial literacy. We also introduced our coloring book, The Truth About Ethics, which we debuted last year right here at home to 84 Thai students. So far, we have taught our coloring book to 441 students in Thailand and the US, with each child being able to recall at least one of the concepts covered.
The last piece of our Thailand trip was teaching ethics. 500 students crammed into the assembly hall for our interactive lecture. As we taught, we realized our curriculum was teaching only one cultural approach. The differences between the way we make decisions and the customs of the Thai people sparked the creation of an entirely new project, Ethics Goes Global.
For years, we have learned based upon a Western understanding of ethics, but our Eurocentric approach is no longer effective. Understanding the culture of others plays an ever-increasing role in doing business. If we can understand the core ethical values of another country, then we can conduct effective business.
The new curriculum that grew out of our research teaches the approach of various countries. This reduces barriers so we can better understand their framework of beliefs and motivations, allowing us to build trust in relationships.
We started this new project by writing a Western version of the ethics curriculum. First, our team wanted to educate students, not about right and wrong, but about how they decided what was right and wrong. We introduced the concepts of relativism and absolutism, the 2 main thought processes in Western cultures. Once students understood how different people reasoned, they were better able to negotiate with them in order to reach the most ethical solution.
Next, we introduced the 6-step process to ethical decision-making. This allowed them to identify the dilemma, determine internal and external factors, identify and apply important values, and come to a decision.
The last piece of our new ethics curriculum was a set of short ethical case studies. A crucial component of the curriculum, the case studies are what drive home the lessons, creating long-lasting, vivid examples of the concepts learned. So far, we have taught 761 students in Thailand and 500 students in the US. Our curriculum was so effective that students showed an average increase of understanding of 237%.
While an increase in knowledge is always desirable, we wanted our program to be much more comprehensive and consequential. To do this, we created a survey that gauges ethical emphasis on key issues, such as sales tactics and corporate social responsibility.
Administered through Zoomerang, the results of the survey give us the ability to build upon similarities and adapt our curriculum. These similarities, along with the statistical tools and measurements used, are being converted into an easy-to-read booklet for high school and college graduates. To date, our survey has been taken by more than 200 respondents from businesses and schools in 6 countries.
The International Relations Council of Riverside, with whom we've had an ongoing relationship, has been very interested in our curriculum and asked us to share our survey and findings to help them enhance the educational and business exchanges between our city and the different countries they work with.
Ethics Goes Global is a catalyst for cross-cultural relationships. Students are going beyond the roundtable discussion by delving into the process and reasoning behind decision-making. Our unique ethics program is empowering the future workforce by instilling in them the capacity to become successful members in their society.
Conservation starts in the home. As resources dwindle, it's important to teach children the advantages of green concepts so they can better care for the environment. The SEEDS project teaches both environmental sustainability and how the market economy works.
This project is 2-pronged. First, we teach the importance of reducing, reusing, and recycling. These concepts are illustrated in a fun, interactive lecture targeted to grades K through 12. Often, students are aware of environmental deterioration and may know how to reduce waste, but they are unaware of the effects of waste. That's where our curriculum comes in. It teaches how environmentally unfriendly habits devastate both the earth and the air around them.
We discuss environmentally friendly uses for land, like commercial, residential, and agricultural, and how each use affects our economy.
Kids discovered that one of the most sustainable and productive uses of land was growing plant products, which provide us not only with food, but wood for homes and cotton for clothes.
The illustration of how food can be a recipient of pollution sparked the creation of the second prong of this project, market economics. Most kids are unaware of where their food comes from or how it was assembled. We decided that the students' lunch, specifically their deli sandwich, was the perfect illustration for market economics.
Each component in the sandwich represents a different part of the market. Students trace ingredients back to a country of origin. For example, much bread comes from Russia, meat from China, and ketchup from Holland. But in their PB&J, the peanuts come from Argentina and the grapes from Italy.
But we wanted to gauge learning beyond the pre and post test. What better way to test their understanding and plant the seeds of market economics than by inviting them to participate in the market by collecting seeds for our seed drive. They became the investors in the market by providing the initial capital for the commodity of seeds, which are then sent to producers, the farmers in developing countries like Ethiopia or Zimbabwe.
After collecting packets, our SIFE team sends the seeds to these countries and follows the crop production and economic increase that results. This year, we have already sent over 40,000 seeds to Kalala, Ethiopia. These seeds, provided by Riverside school children, were transplanted this spring. It is amazing to see that one seed can produce a plant with an abundance of seeds, which allows for a continual, sustainable growth and crop output every season.
While the children will not receive a financial return on their investment of seeds, they will gain a new kind of human capital. When children make educated choices and establish habits to conserve energy, recycle, and use the gifts of our environment wisely, they begin to see themselves as a part of the solution for creating economic sustainability for themselves and others.
So far, we have taught more than 700 students the benefits of environmental sustainability and how the market economy works. 90% of the students have already begun implementing green practices at home. These students, along with La Sierra Club WOW and a tremendous contribution from the Hartnell College SIFE team, have contributed more than 2 million seeds to help create economic opportunity for others.
Riverside and San Bernardino counties rank 6th among the nation's metropolitan areas in radar foreclosure activity, with one foreclosure for every 80 homes. Riverside's Red Team, recently assembled to address the housing crisis, say they anticipate as many as 350,000 potential foreclosures in the near future because so many properties are upside down.
Many families have become financially strained. Losing a job translates to much more than a loss of income. It's a chilling reality check that often forces many families to choose between groceries and paying their mortgage. Losing income almost certainly spells out foreclosure, or worse, bankruptcy. For many, the American dream is becoming less and less of a reality.
We divided one of our ongoing projects, Get a Clue, into 3 distinct parts. Get a Clue Financial Blueprint, Gone Digital, and Kids. For Financial Blueprint, we targeted premarital and married couples to teach them about saving and budgeting, long-term debt and borrowing, living through or avoiding foreclosures, and estate, retirement, and insurance planning.
Co-taught with our BAB member and SIFE alumnus Andreas Andreu, these workshops present a philosophy of prudent, well-planned investment and give specific practical tasks that couples can begin applying right away. These lectures are intended to counteract the damage to our country by so many poor financial decisions. To date, 102 people have been impacted, showing a 67% increase in understanding.
The focus of this new project was to teach young adults how to be intentional and proactive about making commitments today that will serve their long-term goals, rather than making hasty decisions for the now.
But we didn't want to forget the other end of the spectrum. In order to reach younger generations, we debuted our new financial literacy coloring book. The book teaches basic saving, borrowing, and interest through 3 interactive stories. 174 children have been impacted, with each being able to remember and recall at least one of the 3 concepts.
The anxiety of the credit crunch has trickled into high schools as loans are spread too thin, making college an expensive commodity. Most high school students and their parents are nervous, unable to discover where financial aid could be obtained.
We wanted to address this need with our new financial literacy project for high school students, Get a Clue Gone Digital. Our curriculum begins by placing a heavy emphasis on saving and budgeting, teaching youth that the foundations for any society, business, or family is the essential action of saving.
It was critical for them to understand this underpinning of the economy, so they could see how their own actions are a microcosm for the economy at large. This encourages them to begin making wiser financial decisions students today. Many students tell us they desired a clear understanding of our curriculum so they could help their parents handle finances as well.
By drawing upon our own college experiences, we were able to discuss the advantages and importance of a college education and dispel common rumors about the financial difficulties of attending college. We taught the students about college loans and their consequences, how to apply for scholarships and grants, and complete a FAFSA. In addition, we covered credit cards and scores, bankruptcy, how to use online banking, access credit reports, and how to protect themselves from fraud and identity theft.
A distinctive feature this year's Gone Digital is a complete version of our curriculum on a 30-minute DVD. Earlier this year, we were approached by Riverside County Family Adolescent Life Program to bring our curriculum to 280 low-income teen mothers in 14 Cal State schools. The challenge was the schools were too far for us to reach. It was because of this request that we created the DVDs, which also come with instructions for implementation, scan transfer measuring pre- and post-test outcomes, and a prepaid return envelope so our team can receive results.
Funded by a $1,000 grant from Rotary International, $750 from AIG, and $500 from HSBC, Get a Clue Gone Digital has helped our team increase the reach of this project. These grants have enabled us to give each participant their own copy of the DVD to serve as a resource for them and their families. To date, 989 people have been impacted, showing a 44% increase in understanding.
These teens and children are more than numbers in a presentation. They're our future. But our future will never be realized if we don't take responsibility today. We're planting the seeds of financial literacy in order to welcome a stable, more sustainable tomorrow.
Environmental sustainability has always been a core part of our team's philosophy. When it was announced as the new SIFE criterion, our team was thrilled at the opportunity to dedicate an entire project to highlight it. Somewhere in the discussion of whether we should develop a green project to recycle computers, plant trees, or even put solar panels on homes, we realized we had missed the point. What really is green?
We're a team that believes in sustainable, human-centered innovation for all our projects. To solve the challenges of today, we need creativity, imagination, and sustainable vision. Going green is not only about using complex science or technology, it is about using simple, sustainable solutions often found right under our feet.
This year, we stopped to really think about environmental sustainability, and we have answered the call to use innovation, design, and entrepreneurial zeal to transform the systems that support our lives, building a bright green future for tomorrow.
Our SIFE team has worked to create a virtuous cycle within our projects by identifying a need or opportunity, determining our resources, and investing in producers. This creates individual and social outcomes that empowers others, increases dignity, and raises quality of life.
The Learning Village in Kalala, Ethiopia is the best example of our team's philosophy. For 6 years, we've worked with our partners to create additional economic opportunity, starting with a solar oven, purchasing dairy cows, expanding beehives, sending computers, and teaching sewing skills to women so they could launch their own businesses.
This year, our team and BAB member Dr. Fred Gamechu brainstormed how we could increase economic opportunity in the village through innovative entrepreneurship. After analyzing Kalala's progress, we realized that implementing green techniques was the key to increasing efficiencies of the farmers and school.
Our primary objective was to increase the availability of clean water and maximize the efficiency of the agricultural development by creating an entire system that would be financially and environmentally sustainable. Our solution to the challenge, Project Green Village.
According to Dr. Gamechu, 80% of illness in the village results directly from waterborne contaminants, which drastically lowers the efficiency of workers. Up till now, villagers had collected water from streams or from an old pump that could not generate enough water for the entire village.
To alleviate the water crisis, we used a portion of a $20,000 grant awarded to us from VersaCare to purchase 2 new 10,000-liter tanks and a drip irrigation system. Up until this time, the school in Kalala had a pump connected to a 10,000-liter tank, which provided water for the school and village. By investing in Kalala with the new tanks, we are tripling the amount of available water and providing clean water to the school, farm, village, and the new clinic.
The tanks are providing clean water year-round that will reduce that 80%, creating a healthier, more productive workforce. It also increases the quality of life for the villagers and alleviates the child mortality rate. The best part is, the entire system is run off of green energy.
One of the most prevalent occupations in the village and surrounding areas is farming. We started with the basics, taking a look at irrigation and composting. Before our system was put in place, the farmers would flood the fields with water hoses, wasting tremendous amounts of water. Our team quickly realized this was not only wasteful, it was incredibly inefficient.
In March, Ryan Foss and I, along with our provost, traveled to Kalala to implement our green system. We purchased a new drip irrigation system and installed it with the local workers on a section of land owned by the school, the activity hub for the village.
The new system is important for several reasons. Not only does it save time, it saves water. Kalala is a place where rain falls only 4 months a year, making water a precious resource. Our new irrigation system is allowing farmers to grow various crops year-round, providing an exciting, new entrepreneurial opportunity.
Next, we helped the farmers learn efficient composting. We taught them the appropriate organic materials to collect and how to properly maintain the pit.
The system allows the school to sell their produce in the nearby Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. The produce grown at the school is in high demand because of its quality and variety, providing a continuous source of income.
The drip irrigation system and composting have increased the availability, profitability, and efficiency of the crops. Now it's time for the last piece of our system.
Currently, the farmers grow traditional crops such as wheat, millet, sorghum, and teff, but the closest flour mill to the village was 4 hours away. Our team recognized this as an opportunity for a new entrepreneurial venture. 2 brand new flour mills.
With the new flour mills our team provided, the villagers no longer had to walk 8 hours round trip several times a month. In addition, it creates 7 new jobs for the local villagers, making it the most competitive option for miles in every direction.
These installments are the newest tools of sustainable economic empowerment. The Learning Village has become a tremendous example of project sustainability. While our team was in Kalala, we were excited to see the cow bank we had started 5 years ago had grown to 36 cows. 6 bulls were also sold for $5,000, which was reinvested right back into the business.
And along with milk production for the village, manure from the cows is dried into case and sold as fuel. Some may say where the world sees brown, we see green.
The sewing machines provided by funds from the sale of our SIFE water have empowered over 200 women, many of whom have gone on to start their own sewing businesses.
The primary objective of this project was to make the school in Kalala more financially sustainable. But we never realized we could so quickly reach this point of self-sufficiency, able to provide 480 children the opportunity of education for just $1 a month.
By applying SIFE principles to create long-term, sustainable change, together we are increasing productivity, raising overall health, and providing economic empowerment, ultimately creating a greener, more sustainable environment. For us, that is what the SIFE model is all about.
The La Sierra University SIFE team recognizes the need to see beyond a crisis and discover hidden opportunity. SIFE is creating sustainable solutions for the global community.
We have risen to a task and taken an active role in shaping our future. We have harnessed our passion and used it as a driving force to keep moving forward.
Welfare to Work is stirring the economic tide of Riverside County, creating opportunities for low-income and welfare-dependent women.
Our Get a Clue family of projects has transformed to meet the demands of today's generation, training the leaders of tomorrow.
Ethics Goes Global is building bridges between cultures around the world, reducing barriers so that we can build trust and better business relationships.
Project Green Village and Seeds are ensuring that every possible measure is taken in order to live healthy, environmentally sustainable lives.
As the La Sierra University SIFE team, we believe it's time to not only want change, but to pursue it.
And we believe change is not only possible, it's vital. SIFE, planting the seeds of tomorrow, today.
Thank you, La Sierra University. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
Thank you. You spoke to Get a Clue and using a SIFE alumnus to participate. How did you go about that, and how are you looking at creating the energy and the continuation of your team?
For that project, we actually, because especially of how the market is right now, we look for our BAB members who have expertise so they can lend their knowledge to that. We write our curriculum in conjunction with them, and they bring a lot of knowledge to the table so that way we can make sure it's the most applicable program that we can provide for them. And then once that's done, we send it out, and like we were talking about, we have the DVDs as well that increases our reach, and there's pre and post tests that actually go with that, so we can actually gauge how well the DVDs did as well. Once we do that, we look at the pre and post tests, and those aren't just to get a % increase, they're tools that are used to tweak our material so that we can see how we can make it more applicable and even better for the next year.
Great job. You mentioned flour mills with the Green Village in the last piece of your presentation. How are those maintained?
One of the ways that the flour mills are going to be maintained is we're creating 7 new jobs for the local villages there. In conjunction with the partners on the ground, they receive effective training with our business skills, but there's also different farms around the village that can also bring in expert knowledge to teach them how to maintain other equipment such as the flour mills. Because the flour mills are going to be the closest thing in regards to a radius of 4 hours, they take special measures to make sure that they understand how to properly maintain that equipment.
I was intrigued by your Ethics Goes Global, and I'm wondering if you could share some of the surprises from the differences between different cultures and how those cultures dealt with them when you explained it.
Well, our ethics project, we're very proud of this year. This is actually won the first place in our SIFE competitions, so we're really proud, and we feel like we've learned a lot from this. One of the things that we've realized is there's this dichotomy between, anything that we have, individualism, community, anything like that, safety ethics, corporate social responsibility. And what we're trying to do is, with the survey that we sent especially, there's this spectrum, and we want to find where these countries lie on this spectrum. So for instance, safety. In Asian countries, they rely very heavily on safety at their ethical boundaries. As for, more Western, we're not as high as them. So we're looking at this and we're trying to gauge, when we speak with these other countries, when we interact with them, how can we better our experience with them so that we can speak knowledgeably with them?
To add to that, one of the things that we also learn in regards to our ethics survey and our ethics program and going to Thailand and being on the ground is that we all want to get to one main goal in regards to ethics, and that's to practice the most ethical solution possible in order to increase productivity in business and in our personal growth as well. So that's one of the things that our project likes to emphasize, and I think does very well.
I was also intrigued by your Ethics Goes Global. Can you tell me, how did you derive the 237% increase of the 761 students?
We use the guidelines set out by the SIFE pre and post test. You do your post test minus pre divided by pre, and that gives you your results. And then we average that. That's an average of all the scores that we have.
So first of all, great job. Quick question on the get a clue. You've got several under outcomes, a percentage increase in understanding, be it 100% understood concept, 67% increase in understanding. How did you measure that?
The 67% was measured through the pre and post-test standard, post-test minus pre-test over pre-test, I believe, and that's how we derived our 67%, was 102 people impacted.
So the same approach as Ethics About Global, which was the previous question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
To add to that, one of the other ways that we measure besides is actually also seeing them on a personal basis, because we like to go back and ask them, what exactly did they like about our curriculum? Was it effective? Are they being able to use that in their daily lives? Things like that. So we measure both with pre and post test scores, but also on a different level, on a personal level as well.
We like to make sure that our participants focus on application. For example, in our SEEDS project, we go and we instruct them the curriculum, and a week later we go back and we find that the students are actually implementing these practices at home, which is also another great way of measuring the impact that we've made, not just on paper, but in their daily life.
The question and answer time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking La Sierra University SIFE team.